Hi, this is Robin with Booyah Math, and I wanted to take a minute to go over the editable portions of our problem solvers task series. And this was geared more for, well, any of us actually. It was taking into account that sometimes what I create might not be where your students are at or what they need. And because we want students to push the curriculum, I wanted to make sure that you could either change the number sets that I provided for you, or you could change the actual story because not the story itself, but the problem that is within the story. And because sometimes we might not want the join result unknown addition problem. We might want a separate result unknown, a subtraction problem, or we might want a start result unknown where the kids don't know how many the character started with. You get the point. So I wanted you to be able to change the type of problem that is presented with each story. And so what I have given you is a blank PDF and also an editable PowerPoint for your bet lines, because if you change the story in the task, you also need to change it in the bet lines if you are indeed utilizing those. So let me start here with the editable PDF. And let me pull it over to here. I'm using two screens, so as things open, they don't always open where I want them. Not that you understand that at all, right? So your editable PDF here is got a space. I'm just going to, there were lots of letters. They were playing, there were, and you will have to put in your own kind of blank. There were blank letters. Playing, okay, and then they got tired. I like to do a whole story. So blank letters, went home. And I'm trying very hard throughout this whole series not to use keywords. I try not to use how many more, how many are left. I really want kids to understand the action in the story. How many letters are there still playing? Okay, so this gives you your story. Here you can type in your number choices, 5, 3, maybe you want 5 and 3 went away, 12 and 8 went away, 6 and I don't know. And when I do number choices, I tend to I don't tend to go in order of easiest to hardest, because I don't want kids to think that if they pick this one over here, that's necessarily the hardest choice. I really want them to look at the numbers and decide which one would be best for them. So given that, maybe I'll change this to 15, take away 3. I don't know. You get what I'm saying. And this one could be 6 and 2. That's up to you and how your kids work, but this is sort of what I do. And then what you want to do then is go to save here and file, and you want to export it as an image, because this is how you're going to change image as a PNG. And I'm just going to save it as sample. And I'm going to save it on my desktop because, and as you guys know, when you go to Seesaw, so here you've got a whole new story. And I'm just going to minimize this for now because I want to come back to that. But if you go to Seesaw, and for those of you that don't already know this, when you go to Seesaw and you go to your story to add that change story in. So I'm going to first make a copy of this. copy and edit. So I'm going to type in copy here so I know. You're going to go to these templates here and click on them. And to change your story, like I just did, you're going to delete this page. And then you're going to go ahead and insert, go to the camera, upload what you just made. And if I go to my recents, oh, there's Booyah PNG. Oh no, that's not what I want. Sample this one. And I bring this on. There it is. There's the one that I just changed. You're going to want to lock this onto your slide, and the numbers are already in there for you. Okay, so that's how you can change the problem type. Of course, you got to click on, don't forget to click those check marks. It's kind of like the students. And I have now changed the story to be what I want. You're going to save it. And now you're good to go. Assign it, all those things. Now what I want to go over is if you are utilizing the bet lines, and I'm going to kind of do two screens here. I gave you an editable PowerPoint, and it's editable in the sense that when I do bet lines, it always just starts with a picture, no words. I don't want the kids to get distracted. And the first slide usually just has this first line. So what I would do here is, I'm going to kind of minimize it so I can see what I type. I'm going to insert a text box, and right here. And I'm going to put the words, there were lots of letters. Oh, nice typo. Okay, lots of letters. All right. There were, we need to stretch this over. So it's usually just the first line. Letters playing. All right, so let me make this a little bit bigger so I can kind of show you. Oops. There were blank letters playing. So this is where you would have them, go, what can someone act this out? What do we know so far? We know there's letters playing. Who wants to, show us? One of my favorite fonts for is Century Gothic, and I'll tell you why. I'm really picky about my A's for kids. Even though we're supposed to expose them, I just feel like. So you can put the first line there. The second slide, usually what I do is I'll put the second line. They got tired. Some got tired, so blank letters went home. You'd add that. And then the final slide is where you're going to put this whole thing in. If I could just copy and paste. Copy, paste. Yeah, you can copy it, but you'd have to mess with the sizing and stuff. So again, and then don't forget to put your numbers, because here is where they now know what they're going to do to solve the problem, because you've unpacked it to that point. And this final slide is really intended just to be looking at the numbers and talking about what number set the students feel they would start with. In the past, I have, before kids are excused, usually I will do a bet line and have their tools ready on their desks already. But since this is digital, before kids get to go start their work on Seesaw, I would ask them each, what number set do you think you're going to choose? And if a child is picking one that's too easy or too hard, I might say, you know what, I'm glad you're going to try that, but first do 6 and 2 for me. First start with this set here and then move on to 12 and 8, just to get your brain warmed up. So that's the editable parts of Booyah's problem solver tasks. I hope you find these helpful. You are welcome to email me at robin@booyahmath, ROBYN. We have our supportive Facebook group for you. There's lots of different ways to reach out. So I'd love shout outs, questions, any of it. But thank you so much. And I hope this makes math better and it helps your kids to Booyah see the math.